All right, let's do this. Let's start the stream. Um, Hi, welcome to this release week stream. Okay, I made the music a little bit too loud. Just gonna fix that. Release week for Midvinter. So this is exciting. Let me just. So now everything is the way it should be on my screens as well. Sorry. So release week for Midwinter. It's finally here, and it's real exciting. I hardly know what to say. So I thought I would do a stream, kind of talking about like where the game is today, like the journey so far, which I had touched upon in an earlier stream. But just continuing on that, showing you some in-game stuff, actually showing you part of the game. And talking about like hopes and fears for this coming release, because it is my first release as an independent game developer. I mean, I've been in the games industry for like 4 years, but it's kind of different when you actually make the game yourself, and also when you're working creatively. Because earlier I worked with testing, which is quite a different thing. I mean, back then I didn't actually create anything myself. I just tested. So I have another like. I don't know. It's been another kind of effort this time. So it's going to be exciting to see what you guys think about it. And I hope that you like it, of course. So yeah, it's been a 6-month journey, basically. Because I started full-time early November last year. And spent like 2 months just building up the game system. And then I spent like 2 more months just populating the game, throwing in more stuff, implementing all the puzzles and everything like that. And now the past 2 months I've just like getting it all to work together and like making one coherent experience. And like for the past month, I guess it's mostly been like bug fixing and polishing and everything like that, and I'm actually kind of happy where the game is right now, to be honest. I only know about like 2 bugs that I have right now, and I'm gonna fix them today. We're probably gonna find more, just because I talk about it. We're probably gonna find more when I show you parts of the game later. But anyway, so that feels really good. I mean, you can always make more, and I mean, I know that parts of it aren't, they could have been better, of course, but that's always going to be the case, right? So, I mean, I'm not going to dwell too much about, on that. And sure, if I had 2 more months, I could make something more, but I mean, there's no end to that. Like, you can't think like that, because then you're never going to be finished. So yeah, I'm, as I said, really excited to see what people think about it. Some streamers started putting up videos now, and it's just so weird seeing someone playing your game. Like, then you can see it like through their eyes in another way, because I'm so used to the game. I don't really see it anymore, but when someone like talks about it and looks at it for the first time, you see so much new stuff, and that's really cool. Probably should have done that a little bit more, like actually, play test a little bit more with people that I don't know, or yeah, just people that haven't played it before. But anyway, I've been trying to take input anyway from like beta testers, so on, like having a survey after they have tested it, like what was good, what was bad, and so on. And by the way, if you have any questions, please ask me in the chat, and I'll try and answer it. I like to have some kind of dialogue in a stream, so just shoot some questions if you have some. I'm just gonna make sure that I can see it also. Give me a second. Now I lost my list here. Okay, anyway. I'm not good at this streaming stuff. I always get stuff wrong. But it's fun. Give me a second. How do I get the... Well, it doesn't matter. I can see the chat anyway. So, so the game releases on Tuesday. Thursday, sorry. Thursday, the 5th of May. It's gonna be late afternoon here in Sweden, so I guess early morning in the States, if you're over there. And actually, I've been getting some attention from like a lot from Russia and some from Germany and so on as well. So it seems like this game maybe appeals to people all over the globe. I don't know. Would be really cool if a lot of people can find something interesting about the game. I mean, it is almost painfully Swedish in its style, and some words and so on I didn't even bother translating into English, like the words for some of the creatures that you meet, for example, because I mean it doesn't translate. But it would be really cool if people find that interesting, like actually exploring a little bit of our culture, our folklore, in the same way that I would really like to explore other people's folklore and so on from other parts of the world. So yeah, I hope that people find it interesting. So I mean, I try to make the art style. I can probably show you a little bit. Let's go to like, I don't know, something very simple. Oh yeah, okay, this does look good when I've disabled stuff. Looks better in game. Anyway, so I mean the art style is really realistic, but then I added some elements of like, for example, in the stream here, I mean I added the element of this guy sitting there, which is very folklore-y, a guy sitting in the stream playing his violin, and also like he has green hair, like something is definitely a little bit odd about this guy. And of course he's like a magical being, or like he's not human in a way. So that's kind of what I wanted to go for. I mean, I wanted to feel like you're actually there on a farm somewhere in Sweden in like 19th century, but like it's just a little bit different. So really wanted the feeling of like environments that you can find here in Sweden, but with that touch of magic, I guess. So hope you guys appreciate that. So that's kind of, I don't know. So that's kind of my biggest hope, that I can like reach out to people and make people kind of interested in the stories that I tell and like the world that I'm building. And I mean, this is not like a cool wow game. You're not gonna leave this game like, ah, it was the fucking best game ever. That's not the feeling that you're probably gonna have. But I hope that you will find a game like cozy and like, oh, I mean, I'm looking at porting it to mobile as well after I released it on Steam, like probably some other digital platforms as well, or PC platforms. So and I'm looking at porting it to mobile later, because like this will be the greatest game like just before you go to sleep at night. Like just pick this game up and like you just cozy up with it. That's kind of the game that I wanted to create. Like, it's a fairy tale, and it's suitable for young audience as well, and also people that are maybe very familiar with playing games, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, today, like, everyone's a gamer. Like, everyone plays something on the bus or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's Candy Crush or if it's The Division. I mean, everyone's a gamer anyway. Like, why make a difference? It's like, in my opinion, like, making a difference is like, I don't know. I'm getting sidetracked here. But anyway, I mean, calling yourself a gamer is like calling yourself a movie watcher or a reader. Like, what does that even mean anymore? In my personal opinion. But anyway, so that's kind of my biggest hope. I mean, I don't want to talk about sales or anything. I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, it would be cool to be able to make more games. That would be awesome. But I don't know. That's not why I do this. I don't do this to become rich. So that's not. I mean, I want to touch people. Reach out to people and tell a story that interests them. I guess that's why I do this. So that's my biggest hope. And also said that I would talk a little bit about fears in this stream. And I guess like I'm just one person, and I made this in 6 months, and I could hardly code when I started. I need some little bit of volume on the music because this is driving me insane. So yeah, and as I said, I mean, I could hardly code when I started making this project, and that means that I know that I've done a lot of stuff that could have, you know, made more effectively. Um, but I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I know that the game doesn't run as smoothly as it could have. I mean, I've seen some FPS drops even, which is, I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. So that's just bad code, I guess. But my greatest fear would be like people having compatibility problems, like it doesn't work on my computer, and if it's also like a really good computer that should be able to run it, that would be, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really know how to fix that. So, and I wouldn't have the time to like reach out to every single player and like, okay, this is your problem. I'm gonna try and fix it. So that's my biggest fear, like people finding a lot of bugs, and especially serious bugs after release. Because I don't know how well I could, respond to that. So, oh, I just got, so the music was a little bit too loud, hard to hear me. Is it better now? Because I just lowered it. Let me know if it's still too loud, and I'll decrease it even more. But yeah, so that's actually like my biggest fear. People running into problems that I haven't anticipated. I mean, I have had really great beta testers that have helped me out a lot. I mean, before I sent out for beta testing, I was like, okay, so music is better, thank you. Before I sent it out for beta testing, I was like, yeah, I mean, I know that I have some issues, but I mean, it's not gonna be that bad. Yeah, about that. I mean, the things that they have found, I would never in my life have found it. So it's been really awesome. And also having someone that regresses your bugs as well. Like when I actually fixed them, or I thought I had fixed them, that someone actually went through them and like, is this actually fixed or is it not? So that has been really great. But I mean, even testers get blind after a while, after testing the game for a while. So you never know. I mean, there might still be some shit left in the game, and hopefully it's not that bad. Just gonna have to see. And the more testers, or sorry, the more players that actually play the game, the more the more issues those people are probably gonna find. But then again, I mean, it's still a pretty small game, and it's pretty. I mean, it's not that complex. It's not like I have 300 NPCs and they all have state machines and they all, it's not like that. It's not like ragdolls bugging out or anything like that. I mean, it's not that technical in that sense. So I'm probably gonna have to eat my words later, but it shouldn't be that bad. I hope. I mean, the worst case scenarios so far have been like, sorry. Like flags not clearing between playthroughs, for example. So like if you restart the game right after a new one, stuff hadn't reset, and then you couldn't actually progress. And some other like issues like that, like just you couldn't do what you wanted to do because something. Usually you could just restart the game. Sometimes that didn't work. But that's been the biggest problem, because it can be a blocker, which is really severe. Right, I'm just reading your comments. So, working as a QA boss to make a game, ask for QA. Well, yeah, the thing about when you make your own game, you get really blind to it. As I mentioned, like I didn't think that I would have so many issues that I had, just because when I played it, I played it like you're supposed to play it. So I didn't realize that. Well, I knew, because I've done this. I worked with QA for over 3 years. I knew that that would be the case, which is why I brought in beta testers. You know, I mean, you want to think that you're like objective and like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna test like, you know, like a tester would, or like a player would, but it just doesn't work. Not when you're a developer, because you're so inside a bubble of like, this is how the game should work, and it's hard to look beyond that. And also like, I mean, I can speedrun this game in like 2 minutes. I know exactly in which, you know, order you should do things, and how to max your stats and everything like that. And also I have debug commands. And I really like, some issues actually could only be found without the debug commands. Or like, you had to do something in another part of the game that I personally never saw, because I always like skipped that part, because I didn't think that some issues that we found had anything to do with that. So I mean, that's kind of the dangers when you're a developer and you think you know the game so well that you don't test it properly. So that's why you have to bring in other people. You can't just test your game. So, and everyone should remember that, even small indies, in my opinion. And I mean, if you have good friends that can help you out, that's great. If you have friends that actually work with QA, that's even better. So the two people who have helped me most are actually professional QA testers, which has been great, and I've done it just because they enjoy it, which is, I'm so thankful for that. It's been awesome. So yeah, well, I can probably mention, like, if any indies are watching or are gonna watch the YouTube video later, what I did was actually just, I put up a survey, like, are you interested in beta testing this game? Please sign up. And then people like could add in their, you know, the specs for a computer and stuff like that, like how, like which languages do you speak and stuff like that. Not that I would decline someone if they didn't speak Swedish, of course, but like it's good to know, so that I knew that at least that some people spoke Swedish, because, you know, the game can be played both Swedish and English. And then I just picked out people that seemed to, I mean, I think I chose almost everyone. I applied in like the first and second round at least. Also, I had a question like, are you actually willing to play this game or test this game for like at least a few hours until this date? And not everyone did anyway, but the thing is that people are very happy to sign up to this kind of thing, but not always, not everyone actually follows through on it. But I think that at least, you know, it got some people to not sign up that didn't actually have the time. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. So I put up a survey, and people who I said, you know, that had good answers, like had computers that could actually run it and stuff like that, they got admitted and got keys, and they just had a Kanban board that people could put in bugs on, which was separate from my own internal project Kanban. And afterwards also I asked them to fill in another survey that had questions like, for how long did you play, what to you would be like a good price for this game, and so on. Just to like get kind of like, you know, see the pulse, like where is this game actually what I think it is? Like, do people see it in a way that I hope that they do? Like, for example, it's hard for me to determine how long this game is, because I don't have the patience to like explore everything and like look at all the items, because I know what it says, you know. So as I said, I mean, I can finish this game in 2 minutes, but I thought that it would be around like 40 minutes. But I asked a question to see like how long did it actually take for you to finish this game, and turns out I was pretty much right. I think it's about half an hour maybe if you're effective. And also I was really happy to hear that I was kind of on point with the price points. So people said like 3 to 5 euros or dollars, it's gonna be $4.99. So in a higher part of that, but the thing is that you have to consider the sales price, the sale price, because the game is eventually going to be on sale, and you want to have some money left when you put it on sale. So you should put the base price a little bit higher than maybe you should, and then you can lower it later. This is some indie inside knowledge that I'm sharing, which was not really what I was supposed to talk about today, but anyway, doesn't matter. So I thought that I should show you actually a little bit of like where the game is, and also I really actually want to show you the difference between where it is today and also where it was from the beginning, because I think it's, I mean, I'm actually kind of proud of where it started and where the game actually is now, because it looked like shit in the beginning and so on, and I didn't really know where I was going or like what this would be in the end. And it's really fun to go back and look at that again today. I'm actually really happy that I recorded some YouTube videos that they aren't public on YouTube because of reasons, for example, that I don't actually own the music that I used in the beginning. But I think I'm gonna like put together some collage montage later, like, okay, this is what it used to look like, this is what it looks like today. Because it's really cool to see that like progression over these 6 months. Also, actually, just my skills, both coding and art as well, have really gotten a lot better. Can skills get better? I've become more skilled in both art and in coding over these 6 months. Actually, I just want to remake the whole game, because now looking back at the code I wrote in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. And I still know that there's stuff like, I mean, it works, but like it works with duct tape. Like, it's embarrassing. And sometimes I just, or many times I come back to earlier art assets that I made, and like, I mean, I can't believe I like, what was this? Like, what did I think? What was I thinking? But that's the beauty of it, actually. And in a sense, it was very intentional as well, because I didn't want to waste too much time early on like going in the wrong direction. So it was kind of quick and dirty early on, the art and so on. Like, I had something. I had an avatar. It didn't necessarily look very good, but it was, I mean, it worked. He could move and so on. And then I just sorry, my voice is really acting up. And then I just iterated, and like when all the rest of the game got more and more beautiful, then I had to redo the avatar as well, like the gnome, and so on. So that's kind of, I raised one part of the game, and then something else looked like shit, and then I had to raise that one, and then I like, okay, but now I have more time, I can do this thing. Oh, now I, you know. So like, it didn't like, okay, this area, now it looks awesome, and then everything, I haven't even done the rest yet, but this looks awesome. That's not the way I like to work. I like to make okay stuff all the time, and then making it a little bit more okay, and then, you know, eventually, hopefully it's, I mean, there's still stuff that could be a lot better, but I mean, this works. It does the trick. And I'm still, I could still probably take a screenshot of most of the rooms in the game, the areas, and still like, oh, that part, I mean, that part just doesn't look well. But I mean, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes you just gotta let it go. So you always want to rewrite what you wrote last month. That's what makes it fun, always improving. Yeah, it's true. But that is a sign that you're improving, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this project to begin with. I mean, I wanted to learn. I mean, my long-term plan is probably not to be alone, or actually, I'm not going to be alone for next project, because I'm going to work with an artist. But this project, I deliberately wanted to make everything myself, except for the music and the voiceover and testing. But apart from that, I wanted to make everything myself because I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see if I can make a game. And I mean, it is a game, so I guess I could. But less talking, more looking at the game. So I'm gonna pause the music, because now it's going to be in-game music. So some of you might have seen a little bit before, but I haven't really played that much. I've just shown like parts of it. So kind of a late addition was the cursor. I mean, I'm just gonna play it in Unity because I might want to like point stuff out. I don't know, show something in a script or something. I don't know. But it is already on Steam, and I have implemented. I'm gonna decrease that a little bit. I've implemented like achievements, and today I finally confirmed that there are what's called trading cards drops, which is cool. So I am the first one who has some drops, which I should be because I'm the developer. Oh. So anyway, this is the game. Pretty simple settings. You can choose the voiceover language and the text language separately. For the sake of this stream, I'm gonna keep it in English because, you know, I don't think everyone's watching is from Sweden actually. I don't know if I maybe should explain this better in the settings, but this is basically like if you click an extra time, you walk to the destination, or like you teleport. You're gonna see that in game. Yeah, and I have some credits. Cool. And since I already have a save game, you know, I have a continue button. The first time you start the game, it's just gonna say Midvinter over here. Look, there's my logo. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this guy actually. So that's kind of the tutorial. Because I didn't want to put too much of a tutorial in game. I really wanted everything that was actually in the game. Like, as soon as you come in from, or actually, even already here in the menu, I wanted to feel like you're there. So that's why I chose this very, like this, what's it called? This thingy? I don't know what it's called in English. Whatever. This, whatever. I mean, I wanted you to feel already like you were there on the farm. And everything after the main menu, I wanted to feel like this is something that Nisse the gnome actually would say. So I didn't want him to say like, oh, by the way, if you click that button, then like, I mean, there are a few things that are almost like that. Like for example, if you decide that you want to sleep, and you haven't, like, it's not nighttime or it's not morning yet, it's not time for you to sleep yet, then he will actually like, I might miss important things. That's probably not something that he would say, but I mean, some things just have to be gamey, because it is a game. So anyway, this is the game. Earlier I had this really annoying sound and like popping effect when you hovered stuff, but I realized that I wanted to take it down a notch and like remove the ear soaring sound, and just change the cursor instead, because that's what most point and clicks do, I think. And it actually makes a huge difference. So there is a sound now. You're not going to be able to hear it because the volume is probably way too low. It's just a hint of a sound. Might increase it a little bit because it's almost too subtle. Just like, I wanted to more feel like actually, I wanted to feel almost more than hear that you're hovering something. So that's why I chose to have it really subtle. But this is Nisse's home, and that's where the humans live, upstairs from your home. So I mean, the story is that you wake up and humans have been gone for a long time because they moved to America. He doesn't know that, or you know, he sees like some hints about it, but he doesn't know what America is, of course, because he's never left this farm. And now new humans have moved into the farm. So, and I don't know if you can hear this either, but here's some voiceover. I made the woman, and my fiance made the guy. And yeah, you can listen to them, and he was like, "Oh, the humans are back." And you can inspect stuff, of course, because this is a point-and-click game, and you can try and interact with stuff. Yeah, so what I meant earlier about the click to fast walk thing is that if you click again, then you're gonna go there directly. So you can pick up a bag, which is your inventory, and then you head out. So this is the outside, and I'm gonna show you in a second what this is. Let's just eat some porridge. Of course, everything that I interact with, you can also, inspect. So yeah. So the point of this game is that I should probably show you instead of tell you. So this is the troll. The troll wants to steal the unborn human child.
No.
And this is like, no, there is no child. But he's lying, of course, because the woman is actually pregnant. He just heard it.
Now we leaves. We sees again.
So yeah, so this troll wants to steal the human child, which is straight off Swedish folklore, because that's what trolls do. And it was actually kind of a challenge, because I was like, yeah, it's gonna be about, changeling, troll trying to steal a child. Then I realized, as I like wrote the dialogues and so on, like, why would she do this? This makes no sense. Because what they do is like they trade their own child for the human child. So they leave a troll child in like the crib, and they take the human. I was like, that's really mean to your child. Why would you do that? And also like, what do they benefit from this? Like, what does the troll want? So that was kind of a challenge, like trying to put some reason or like some sense into folklore. So I mean, it might seem silly, but anyway, don't blame me, blame folklore. So anyway, so actually this first part is kind of streamlined, because you have to listen to the humans before you head out. You don't have a map until now. So now, after you've talked, you've spoken to the troll, now you can pick up a map, and now you can move around however you want on the farm. And I mean, early on, I didn't want to streamline the player, or like I didn't want to push the player in any way. Like I didn't want to make any decisions for them. I like say, no, you can't do that. But that meant that you can miss stuff. Like if you would head out on the first evening without listening to the humans, you wouldn't know that she was pregnant. So then it wouldn't make sense when the troll like, is there an unborn child? And you would be like, So like you needed to have that actual like agency, or no, that's not the right word. But anyway, you needed to know. And also you need to meet the troll before you head out, because otherwise nothing else that you do is gonna make sense. Like, sure, you're a gnome, you walk around the farm and you help the humans, that's what you do, but you would have no reason at all to speak to the other creatures that are around. But now you have spoken to her, you have listened to the humans, and now you're free to go everywhere on this farm. So this is entirely fictional farm. I say somewhere in Sweden. There are two areas, Dalarna and Småland are probable. They are very different from each other, so I don't really know. But I didn't want like, okay, it's exactly here, because I didn't feel like I had to. But I mean, the thing about Dalarna is that it's like the most Swedish part of Sweden. Everything that you think is Swedish is probably from Dalarna. And Småland is a place where a lot of people left for, well, America. I think, I don't know if it was the majority, but a lot of people left from there because they had a tough time. A lot of people were farmers, and they had, dry years, they had wet years and so on, so they lost a lot of crops and so on, and they were starving, so they had to leave. So that's kind of why I hint a lot on like potatoes and so on in this game. because it was a huge thing. A lot of people were living on potatoes in Sweden. And potatoes are better than like wheat, for example, because I don't know, it survives winter better, and it's more. I mean, it's not as bad if you have a dry year or something. But anyway, I'm talking about potatoes now. I should talk about the game. I'm sorry. So this is the toilet. I don't know why I showed you that. You can actually close the lid if you want to. Very important. I know that there are like game papers that like, I don't know if it's Game Reactor or something, that takes screenshots of toilets in games. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to make a point of that in this game as well. Like actually having a toilet. This is important. I mean, actually, what I wanted to do, as I said, I mean, I wanted to have a very, like, what's the word? I wanted it to feel real. I wanted to feel like this is actually a place that people are living and where people have been living for a long time. So I wanted to have these kind of details. I mean, there needs to be a tool shed, there needs to be a loo. I mean, it might sound silly, but I mean, there would be one on the farm. And if it wasn't, I mean, they would have trouble, you know, they would have problems. So, I mean, I just want to show that this is actually a real place. I want it to feel real. I want it to feel like people live here and have been living here for a long time. Okay, so we have just found a locked door. Standard game mechanic. This is actually, I wouldn't say important, but this is actually, there's a reason why this oak tree is there. I had it kind of late. So we have to find a key, right? Because that's what you do in games. So I happen to know where the key is. I happen to know that there's something glittering here. Oh my god. And then you can move the hay and you can take the key. Cool. And yes, there is an inventory. You can inspect stuff. This is actually one of the latest things that I added, because earlier on, the items would just stack out up here on the side, and you couldn't like inspect them or anything. But I got some great input from my testers. That was like, would be really cool to be able to actually inspect the things after you pick them up. And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna try. And then I did it. It was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. It wasn't so hard. But implementing things like the week before release, it's, I don't know, it's scary. So you can't. It's not the. You can't do what you often do in particular games. They actually drag it in, or so on, or combine stuff. Items are just used when you can use them. I mean, if I had one more month, maybe I could like, what happens if you match this item with this item, this item with this item for all the items in the game? Sure, I could do that, but would that actually make the game so much better? I don't know. So now I picked up a rope that is now, well, I have very low resolution now, so it's actually behind the bag. Probably gonna have to fix that. Anyway, so I have a rope and I want to fix this rope. So let's do that. And he walks kind of slowly here now, actually. So I fixed it. Now I just need a bucket. Cool. But we got the key, right? So that was where we were heading. So let's go back to the root cellar and open this lock. Just open a lock. Cool. And here you can find like potatoes that I mentioned. Any comments on like, this isn't so much. I mean, are they actually gonna survive the winter? Which is once again like the reality of it. I mean, this is 19th century Sweden. It was a tough time. So now I have some potatoes. What can I use those for? I don't need potatoes, or the gnome doesn't need potatoes. But let's meet some of the other creatures on this farm, right? So we can start with the I wouldn't say cutest because they're not really cute, but the cheekiest ones. Will you continue development after the release? Looking at the chat just for a second. It's looking great, by the way. Thank you so much. Will it continue development after release? Well, priority one is making a mobile version, because I just realized this is actually a game that's better for mobile than for PC. But it's just gonna take a while to optimize it, like the input and everything. And I mean, as I mentioned, like the FPS can get kind of low sometimes, especially when I have a lot of particle effects. So I'm gonna have to look at stuff like that, like how can I optimize the stuff. So and apart from that, I mean, sure, I can add more stuff if people want it, but it depends. It depends on what people want. And I also have another game planned that I'm starting as soon as possible, and I really want to make that game. So, I mean, of course, I'm not gonna like fire and forget. I'm gonna keep, especially fix bugs if people find them. Apart from that, I mean, it's such a such a small story that it wouldn't really make sense to add more stuff to it. In that case, I think it would be more like a new chapter, which would be released independently, and I think that would be more like for the future. I want to make other games first. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so let's go back to the game. So these are, as I mentioned, one of the creatures that I didn't even bother translating the name of. You could translate it to goblins, but I think that people will think too much about like Lord of the Rings goblins, or like the Hobbit goblins, or like, I don't know, World of Warcraft, so I just let them be called Vettar. And I guess it looks a little bit exotic as well to people who don't speak Swedish, so I don't know. So these are the cheeky people. Oh right, I can't talk to them yet, because I have no reason yet, because I haven't talked to another person or creature. But there's a cat here as well, because of course there's a cat on the farm. I don't know how it survived when other people were away for like a few months, but I'm sure that there were a lot of like mice in the barns and so on. And now it's winter. I don't know. It's fine. It's just fine. Now it's gonna be fine because the humans are back. So let's go talk to the guardian of the forest.
Well, the guardian of the farm out here in my forest.
Pardon the intrusion.
Oh, sorry. Well, you advance the dialogue by clicking your mouse, and sometimes I guess I just clicked a little bit too fast.
I have no love for creatures.
But I did it again. It advances automatic. No, it doesn't. Anyway, it's just me having ticks in my finger. Anyway, so the dialogues are just a line of lines. You can't actually steer the conversation in a direction. I had that planned early on, that you would be able to at least answer like yes or no. I didn't think that it actually added anything. So in the end, I just removed that. I mean, sure, this is kind of story-focused game, but the choices aren't like in dialogues. It's more like what you do on a farm. I'm not saying it was the best choice, but anyway, that's the way I went. So what she says is basically like she doesn't like humans. That's very apparent, because they have cut down the tree, for example, that I showed earlier. But she agrees, like, okay, it doesn't sound very good that the troll wants to steal the human child, because then the humans can live out in the forest, and the troll, who is kind of stupid but powerful, like if the troll had a human for help, then it would have the brain of the human to help it, and it would also still have its powers. So, as I said, I tried to apply some kind of logic to the folklore thing. So at least she thinks like, okay, that would be bad, like having a powerful but stupid creature having the brain of a human, which is powerless but kind of intelligent in comparison. that has to be bad. And also would live out in her forest, of course, and she wouldn't want that because she hates humans, so she doesn't want humans living in her forest. So what she says, like, okay, but you have to bring back these 2 items because if I'm gonna trust you, if I'm gonna help you, you have to show that you have the wits and wisdom to do this task, which doesn't make any sense. I know, but it's you know, a gamer will recognize a gamey element, like bring me stuff and I will help you. It's a quest, and I mean, you could say that that's not terrific storytelling or writing, but it has to be a game as well. So sometimes you just have to put the story in the backseat, or like the characters' desires in the backseat. Okay, so now I talk to her, which means that I actually have a reason to talk to the Vettar. Because I put in some checks, like, now you know that you need sand of gold. And if you think like, could that be wheat? Because otherwise, like, you would just walk around and click everything and you just, okay, now I apparently have some wheat for some reason. That didn't really make sense, so I added quite late. Also, after feedback from the testers, like, if he doesn't have a reason to do some of the things, then he just won't do it. But now he is able to talk to these people. So mind if I have some of that wheat? They do not have any of it. This is also my fiance actually talking, and I make the voice for the skogsrå, the spirit of, or the guardian of the forest. So it's actually just 3 people making all the voices, which is kind of fun. It was a lot of fun to like apply different, I don't know, filters and everything to the different voices to make them sound different. I also make the troll, so I talk in a very straight voice and played some stuff to it. It was a lot of fun. I like doing voiceover. I mean, it isn't perfect, far from it, but I think all the voices kind of do the trick. And I think it kind of fits the setting. It's corny, but I think it's kind of fun. I hope people will appreciate that. So let's mend this well rope, because I actually haven't. Excuse me. I haven't actually talked so much about this thing here. So now I just mended this rope and I put on a bucket, so you can actually use this well again to draw water. I don't know actually if that would work in winter. I don't know how wells work. I don't know. Maybe you can like drop down a rock or something to break the ice, because it will put the ice down there. So what happened is that I helped the humans, right? Because I did something on the farm. I did my gnomely duties, which means that this part of the counter thingy is gonna go up. So the more gnome things that I make on the farm, the more this is gonna increase. And on the other hand, this one is for doing stuff for the forest. And actually, there's only one thing that awards things for this side of the counter, and that is getting the help of the skogsrå, the spirit of the forest, the guardian of the forest. So, like, you have to complete all that quest line to fill this up. And also we have the thing in the middle, which is the time. So time only progresses when you use the map. So like when you walk around in the actual house, it doesn't go up. But if you use the farm to travel for a farther distance, it goes up. So the thing is that I didn't want people to feel stressed, like when you're actually in an area. I didn't want people to feel like, I need to explore quickly or otherwise I'm not gonna, I didn't want to have that like immediate time restraint. But I needed to have some time restraint because there are 4 different endings to the game. And like I only saw one way to make that work. Or like you can finish the game in 3 ways and you can also fail. And I mean, I saw no reason why people wouldn't always do everything if they didn't have that time limit. So that's kind of why I put that one in. because especially maybe in your first playthrough when you don't know where to find everything or actually even what you're looking for, you might not even have time to finish or get enough on this side and also get the help from the Skogsrå. So yeah, so that's how I reason in that case. There's a pile of snow here. There's something underneath it. I'm not gonna show you. It's very secret. Right, but it's time to go home. And actually, if you walk around too long without going home to sleep, it just teleports you back to home. So what you need to do is basically sleep. And now it's day 2. So you have 2 days to finish, you know, all the puzzles and so on. So to fill up these as much as possible. And then on the 3rd day, you're gonna meet the troll again. So I'm not gonna show you that because I don't want to spoil it too much. But that's kind of the baseline of this game. So now the humans up here again. So you can listen to it again.
That's wonderful.
And yeah, it's voiceovered, but I don't know if you can hear it. So all the dialogues are voiceovered, but not everything that Nissa himself says. I mean, when he like inspects something, he thinks it, right? He doesn't walk around talking to himself. So that's why he just says and so on. Also because I didn't want to have to make like, I don't know how many lines. It's like 400, 300, 400 lines, something like that. Yeah. So, but the dialogues are fully voiced over. And that's kind of it. I don't know how much more. Is there anything more that you would like to see? Please let me know. This is actually kind of a, in my opinion, neat thing. If you leave the lock unlocked on the first day, you know, the root cellar that I showed you with the potatoes. If you don't lock the lock again and take the key with you, the humans are gonna find it and put it here. Because they, of course, have to go to the root cellar to get food and stuff like that. So, so yeah, and then I find the key and they bring it back. Otherwise, if you still carry it with you, you actually get points for returning it. So now, cool! I just found a bug. I don't have the key, and right, okay, now I know what the problem is. So, not a major bug, but anyway. So, after you have removed the key, like, now when you remove the key, you get minus points if you take it again, and you get plus when you return it. It's kind of same with the scissors that I'm carrying. When you bring it back, you get awarded points. But if you take them again, you get minus points, so you can abuse it. But you can take them once without getting that penalty, because otherwise you get minus if that's the first thing you do. Gamey stuff like that, you know. So let's just fix some yarn. Kind of like what you're doing. Doesn't seem like you really have any more questions. So that's cool. Guess I'm gonna just finish this. So if I sleep again, this, you can hear it, or I don't know if you can, but the baby just cried, so the baby's born. So this night where the troll returns. So when I walk out this crack now, it's time to face the troll again. Because the troll is apparently very timely, you know, it's exactly when the child is born. So it comes right away to steal the child away. And of course the humans aren't like awake or anything on the first evening after their child was born, so they can't protect it. It didn't have to make sense, right? It's folklore, it doesn't make sense. But I'm not going to show you that because I want you to have something to look forward to when the game is actually released. So it's Monday today. On Thursday, this is going to be live on Steam. If everything goes according to plan, everything is set up anyway. So I think I just have to push a button to get it out to you. It's probably going to be up on like itch as well, because I wanted at least one platform that is well, Steam free. Nothing wrong with Steam, but I wanted people to that aren't gamers, for example, to have a little bit more accessible way to get the game, basically. And I know that some people don't like Steam, so I just wanted at least one platform for people to get it that isn't Steam. So that's kind of it. 3 days left until release. It's gonna be exciting. As I said, really looking forward to seeing what you guys think. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. As I said, I mean, it is a game. There are bugs already. Like there are bugs at the moment. I'm gonna crush everyone that I find in the coming days now before launch. I hope that it won't be anything critical when I get it out to you. That's basically it. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Huge thank you to all the support that I've been getting. That's really been amazing. Seeing people like stepping up and like liking and sharing posts and like just asking about it and like being really excited about it. I mean, that's been, in my opinion, the greatest part of this. I mean, sure, it's cool to make a game, but also like having people that are really like engaged and really like, being awesome friends and just, supportive people. That's been so fucking awesome. Pardon my French. So thank you so much for that. Please continue doing that. Keep being awesome. If you like the game and if you like, I don't know, anything, any post or anything, please just pass it on because it really means a lot. The more exposure that I get, the more games I can make for you in the future. Because if people know about the game, they're more likely to buy it, and that would be cool. As I said, I don't want to be a millionaire. That's not why I do this. I just want to make more games for you. I want to tell more stories because there's more where this came from. So yeah, whoop from the chat. So cool. Have a nice week. Continue being awesome. Hope you like the game and everything like that. So cheers. See ya.